Where am I going now? Just falling over dreams. Now I'm just so far gone, this isn't what it seems. Taking me so damn long, it's fading from belief. I need to slow this down, it's burning from beneath. Come break this line, this love's in my tights. Holding on for what it's worth, my life. I'm out all your time, I'll make it up the vine. Find my way to shine. shivers whenever I'm thinking about you. Just wanna leave and live without you. Be on my own again. I get the shivers whenever you go out of line, yeah. I feel it creeping down my spine, yeah. Wanna be alone again.
Alright, go ahead and get into the second half of or play like a few rounds with West Point again, just for the warm-up, and then get in the lobby at least 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. So you'll get a few more rounds with So make sure you let them know. They probably have cancer.
What if they're right?
You can find a paradise within your
within your mind. All the dangers they've been made up, you believe what they say. Through the heartache, our stargaze, no invasion today. We've come this far, through wind and rain alone. So take your
Are they finding it?
chances
Did they connect to it?
If they want to get like 1 or 2 rounds in, that's fine. But make sure that we're good to go within like the next 8 minutes or so. Alright. Good, yeah. Call it then. Nelly, can you get us
I like it, but it's not okay. Whatever, can I walk away? Oh yeah. Can still see your face, so tell me what to do, 'cause I can't find a way. Baby, please just tell me if I'm, tell me if I'm, tell me if I'm fine. Tell me if I'm, tell me if I'm, tell me if I'm, baby, please just tell me if I'm fine.
Just tell me if I'm
Wouldn't want to blind you.
Baby, please just tell me if I'm fine. Please just tell me if I'm fine. 'Cause I don't know why, stuck in my heart, baby. Please just tell me if I'm
fine. Just tell me if I'm fine.
I'm a beautiful disaster. A reckoning. You wonder how I got this way. You think I'm someone to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change, never change. You think I would look pretty on your arm once you cover up my bruises and battle scars, but it always ends the same. Can't bear the things I've had to face. Got you crying on your knees in pain. Oh, some things never change, never change. You'll break your back to make me feel again. Suffocate to make me breathe again. Lose your mind from endless pain. Some things never change, never change. Redemption.
We're just getting into the lobby now, and
I stopped asking for forgiveness, 'cause you should know only fools tread with the angels. Fear to go, but you keep trying.
no, not even.
Save myself by turning into stone. So save your judgment cause you just don't know. But some things never change, never change. Oh, they say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wake. Swear I didn't mean to make them break, swear I didn't mean to make them break. But they're so delicate and so mundane, and they keep coming like a moth to a flame. Oh, some things never change, never change. You'll break your back to make me feel again. Suffocate to make me breathe again. Lose your mind from endless pain. Some things never change, never change. Oh, redemption never came.
Talking out loud, 'cause the angels
am I going now? Just falling over dreams. Now I'm just so far gone, this isn't what it seems. Taking me so damn long, it's fading from belief. I need to slow this down, it's burning from beneath. Come break this line, this won't tomorrow times. Holding on for what is worth my life. I know it's time, I'll make it up the vine. Find my way to giants in the sky. Tonight it comes to life.
Good evening, gamers, and welcome to the Battle for South Carolina. I am one half of your casting duo tonight. I go by the name Speezy24, and my better-looking half joining me, Jag. How you doing tonight?
I am doing great, like you said, the Battle of South Carolina. It should be a banger, and thank you so much to Limestone University for hosting us tonight. This should be a great event. Shout out to, especially to the people watching right now on campus that are at that amphitheater. I know this is going to be a great debut for your esports program in prime time, but it's going to be one doozy of a matchup.
Yeah, it certainly is. Playing against Clemson is no small feat. Clemson, while still a young club program, I believe, they have some heavy hitters on this team. We've seen what they can do in CF1 and other tournaments like Campus Cup. We are not sure which roster they're going to be running tonight. You know, they like to play and mix and mingle that roster every which way. So we'll have to wait and see for that. But, I mean, on the side of Limestone, they've had 2 semesters to grow this program. Coach Zach has done a fantastic job from what we've seen. They just got their first victory. So if history stays correct here, they should be on the upswing.
Yeah, they should be indeed. They had a great 2-1 victory over Niagara, I believe about 2 weeks ago. I got to cast them last week in CF1 against Miami, Ohio, and well, that matchup did not go their way. This might be another night that does. Like we said, we don't really know what roster Clemson is going to be pulling out tonight. And there's a lot of history between these two teams. I mean, we use the subtitle, the Battle of South Carolina, because these schools are only about an hour and a half apart on the I-85. But there's a lot of connections between the staff, the people that are teaching at Limestone. A lot of them have either been a student of Clemson in the past, or they have been a supporter of Clemson athletics. There's a lot of just kind of, I would say, friendly rivalry is the way I would put it, because they're not exactly, going head to head. They don't have a lot of matchups in sports because Clemson is Division 1 while Limestone is Division 2. So this is really the first time that these two schools have gone head to head in any sort of athletic competition.
Yeah, and it's absolutely fantastic that esports can be this great equalizer, right? If you're playing Division 1 basketball, I'm expecting someone 6'7", 6'9", maybe even 7 feet, but when it comes to Valorant, everybody's the same when it gets in the server, same agents. It's just your peripherals that change. So I hope to see a great show match tonight. Couple of quick things for the folks watching at home. We will have the new Agent Astra available, so maybe we get to see that pulled out tonight. I would love to see it. As for everything else, we are on the latest patch. So credits, Frenzy, still 500 credits, Marshall down to 1,000 credits. It's an interesting time right now in Valorant, right? We've just seen couple of rounds of the Valorant Champions Tour for the professionals players, so the meta is always developing. And Jag, going into tonight, is there anything that you want to see from these players in terms of agent select? Or we have the map picks in, we'll get to that in just a bit, but in terms of agents, what should we be looking out for tonight?
All right, one, no Viper. Just get her out of here. I feel like we've seen her kind of be pushed onto certain maps, especially like Icebox, but there is no Icebox tonight, so I really don't think we'll be seeing her at all. And I do want to see Astra. She is the newest agent to Valorant. She's got a very unique kit. She's a controller. So if you don't know Valorant all too well, basically her job is to create space, especially with her smoke ability, which cuts off a choke line. It makes it not visible to see through it. And it's really great for an attacker or defender, which way you want to look at it. If you're the one putting the smoke down, it lets you either move in to a space or it is a distraction that lets you move elsewhere. So she has got a very unique kit. She's able to see the entire map. She becomes very vulnerable when she does that, but she can place her abilities all over the map during that phase. So it's going to be really cool to see her kind of from a first-person point of view if we do see that. But I think we will, because we have talked a little bit to these teams ahead of time, and we do know that Ascent is one map where we might see her, and that is going to be the first map in this series.
It certainly is, and one of the things that I'm looking out for tonight, Jag, is Wei, the IGL, the in-game leader for Limestone. I've seen them play Sova before. It's been fantastic. I hope they have some recon darts to get a bit more intel and a bit information. And combined with that Astra, I think this could be a really good duo if we get to see them out here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think her best ability, in my opinion, is her grab well, which basically sucks everyone into one area, and then it does a little bit of damage. It makes you vulnerable, so there's a bit of a debuff when you get stuck into it, and then it explodes. So you combine that with something like a shock dart, and you can instantly wipe someone. So I feel like there's some really good team combinations. It reminds me of another game where there's something called the grab, and then you're throwing arrows into it as well. So I think we'll see some familiarity there for some people that might know the game Overwatch as well. But for those of you who don't know Valorant at all, it's a pretty simple game at its core of some other fun things around it. Your goal is to win 13 rounds, and you can do so by either, if you're on attack, wiping the enemy team, or having your spike go off after it's been planted for a certain amount of time, or if you're on defense, wiping the other team, and then going for a defuse if the spike has already been planted. So it's a very easy game to understand once you've seen a few rounds of it, but there's just so much that goes into it, especially when you bring in abilities with all these different agents.
It certainly is. Abilities, credits, it can get a little hectic at times, but for those new viewers, Jag and I are going to do our best to give you the lay of the land and welcome you with open arms. At the end of the day, esports is a fantastic community, and we are just glad that you folks have decided to join us tonight. But I think we only have another couple of seconds before we get loaded up into the game. Map selection for tonight. We are going to see Limestone pick Ascent first. So that's not something that's super surprising. I've seen them play that a couple times now on stream, as well as some VOD. So that's going to be their map, their practice. This is, if Limestone's taking a map, it's going to be Ascent, 100% hands down. Second map, Clemson chose Bind. So that those teleporters will come into play a little bit. If the Astra comes out again, I've seen some unique tech with her ultimate, the Cosmic Divide. If they place that in front of those teleporters, no one will know if you teleported because that ultimate cuts off all sound. So that should be an interesting one. And then if needed, we will see map number 3. It will be split. So we have some great maps for you tonight. Nothing too crazy going on. It's going to be some straightforward Valorant, and I'm excited here, Jag.
I am too. I really hope we get to Split, because Split's one of my favorite maps. I know that people really didn't like playing it in the past. It used to be very defender heavy, where basically if you played on defense first, you'd usually win the game. But now there have been a lot of changes. Riot has decided to kind of move around the map and change how the angles are on that. But we got a while before we would get to that. It is Ascent, like you said. Now we've got the Agent Select coming in hot, and we'll see what we get here tonight. So far, we already have our first Astra locked in for the Limestone Saints, so we do know that we're going to see her debut tonight. And I gotta say, I'm still very intrigued by the fact that people are playing Reyna. She's a duelist. She's got that really great kind of pop-off potential, but after her changes, her ability to carry fights, especially when it's only her alive, has really decreased.
It certainly has, and I mean, she can still wreak havoc in some of the earlier rounds, the pistol rounds, the eco rounds, when you don't have those full armor, full weapons. The assist factor of her kit, allowing to drop an orb, even if she doesn't get the final blow, it's going to be great. I think Wake, if possible, again, I was expecting Way on Sova tonight, bring something new out, and hopefully this has changed the game. So Way is going to be that senior leader, that senior voice. And on the side of Clemson, Jake, Lord of the Tongue, Polo, Poco, and I believe that's going to be Didi at the bottom there on Omen. So pretty straightforward team comp coming out of here from the Tigers. And all eyes for me, Jag, are on the Saints tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the lineup right now that's being run by Clemson, it's pretty standard. I feel like it's very meta for this map. You could maybe get rid of Jake's Reyna and go for Phoenix instead. That's more just a preference of what you want to play. Both of them give you a lot of high frag potential. But the Saints, I mean, what they're coming out with, it's very irregular, I would say. You usually don't see a Sage on this map, and Astra, we don't really know where she fits in. A lot of tournaments have not allowed her until this week, as she's just being allowed into comp right now. So this is really going to be a lot of people's first look at her. It's going to be my first look of her, at least in a setting like this, in a matchup like this. So I'm very excited for that. Right now we're going to see Clemson start on the defense. We're going to see Limestone on the attack. And with the fact that the Saints are on the attack first, I really want to see them use those Astra abilities right off the bat. She's going to go into her Astral form, where she can just see the entire map from her view. Then she's going to put down some smokes, try to activate those stars later on, and then hopefully they can run on to a point. And it looks like, at least off the get-go, they want to go to A, which is not surprising at all. This is usually how we see things be done on the first round of Ascent. Just whoever's the attacker, they will try to run onto A and plan as fast as possible.
They certainly can. And taking a look at the buy here, we have a couple of light shields on players, 2 ghosts in the hands of Poco and Jake on the Tigers, and we are underway. Killjoy Turret's going to go out to watch the flank and going to grab that lockdown, the ultimate orb first. So a ton of smokes already coming out from both sides. There's an Astra smoke, there's an Omen smoke, and the spike is getting planted. This is a quick round, Jag.
It is, but already they've lost that Astra. I was going to say that they were able to get a smoke back. You can actually use your Dissipate to immediately get it back after a second, but now things are going the way of the Saints.
Yeah, the tides have changed. Way's able to find a kill onto Poco, as Didi takes down Way as well. So it's 3v3 situation. Didi finds another one with that Sheriff. A full buy in the first round from Didi, making that pay off. 3v1. Sig, don't think there's going to be too much they can do here. Going to throw the Molly over and hopefully try to get them off the spike. That Molly has been... The Nanoswarm is out. It's going to buy a little bit of time, but Polo able to get the final blow and take down Sig there. And round number 1 goes in favor of the Tigers.
Yeah, and there is a great play there by the Saints at the beginning. They were able to chase down one of the members of Clemson, got them really weak. Way was really close to getting their first kill there, but instead of chasing it all the way in a tree, they backed off. They played the point. They put smoke downs, I would say, maybe a bit too soon, especially when you're able to put down all those stars. You can kind of wait to activate them at your will. That's the advantage what you get with Astra's kit, where you don't need to activate them right away. You can activate them whenever you want, and they can be a multitude of abilities. It can be anything in your kit, actually. But there they pop all of them. You lose Astra. From there, it was just a great retake from Clemson, and now they're going to be able to buy for this round.
Yeah, the Saints going in with a no buy, not even a single. I think it's just abilities, and it looks like we don't even have Leers on the side of Way, so it's going to be very difficult for them to get on site, as we see them split the map pretty well so far. And the name of the game on Ascent, right, is to establish that presence middle. If you can get mid control, you can really go anywhere. So there is an Astra Star on mid. Hopefully it's going to block some of the space for the Tigers, and the Saints are just creeping their way onto this A site again. That's going to pull the rotation. Look at the minimap. 5 players strong rotating onto this A site. This is going to be a tough battle for the Saints to overcome.
Yeah, they already lost someone along the way too. Way is down. Their Sova's taking damage. And now they're going for a rotation. I agree with you. I think playing mid is very important here because if you control the middle ground, you can kind of rotate to B or A wherever you want to go, especially if you're able to find 1 or 2 kills there. But there's so much damage coming onto the Saints right now. They haven't been able to get a kill, and really no one has taken any damage on the side of Clemson.
Yeah, no damage has been done, as we've seen Poco able to find the frag onto Stone, Pergy, and Didi. That was a quick one. Finds a quick double kill, make it 3 on the round. Tigers 2-0, they have some weapons. This is going to be their bonus round. So traditionally, the 3rd round is when you see teams start to bring out the most proficient rifles in the game, the Vandals, the Phantoms, maybe an operator or 2. But the Tigers, they're going to continue with the weapons they've already purchased. They're going to try and bolster that economy. And if you can win this bonus round as Clemson, it's going to be a tough pill to swallow for the Saints, as they will be super, super low on credits.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like a do or die moment. It's one of the first of many we might see out there. So you lose this one. It's not the end all be all, but this is your greatest advantage so far. You have much better firepower than Clemson has. Like you said, the Vandals, the Phantoms, it's better for long range. You've got better one tap potential. You get a headshot with the Vandal and it's going to be an instant kill every time. So right now, Limestone, they have a lot more to work with, but can they get the job done? They need to, because they give up this bonus round. They're not going to have any credits, and Clemson will be able to get the guns that right now they wish they had.
Certainly, as we see the slow, methodical pace come out here, Big J and Way going to be working their way down middle, getting into market. There is a player here, though, that spotted Jake. Gonna spot Big J and Way, putting out the Lear. That's going to be the near site there just to get a bit more information. But the first frag is actually found by Poco, taking down Blake and Bakes. That's the Astra going down and immediately traded out by Sig the Man 305. So that Sage is going to come in handy after taking some of these gunfights, because if you can't win them, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, absolutely. The Sage is going to be able to heal them up. Doesn't do nearly as much healing as they used to do, only 40 per a health orb, but it's going to be enough to actually put them up for the first time. The Saints have a person advantage. They're going to use that wall to completely cut off Heaven, so that way it's gonna, either it has to be broken or they just can't use that as a way to get to the point. The spike is going to be planted, and this is the best it's looked for Limestone thus far. Jake, though, is on the flank. Still has their soul orbs that they can use if need be. I don't think they have any more Lears currently, but now that the wall has been broken, they know someone's in Heaven. Do they know there's 2 people? We're going to see if Lord can get some kills on this flank.
Yeah, the alarm bot goes out. Cypher here trying to get a frag. They immediately shoot that, get the frag onto Way. 3v3, 3v2. Polo, Stone Fergie finds one. Cypher's going to find the kill onto Stone Fergie. So there is a Killjoy Molly there. That's going to get destroyed, and they're going to have to peek this. Finds one, does Sig the Man 035. Looking for the last player. I don't think... Oh, and a clutch from Sig the Man 305 to put the Saints on the board. That's got to feel good for your Killjoy.
It does. You get around, but everyone falls because of it, and the only person who would have lived ends up dying to the spike. So they cannot go for really that much of a full buy. I don't think anyone can go for it. So the magic number in Valorant is 3,900 credits. That's enough for full armor and an assault rifle like a Phantom or a Vandal. You won't be able to buy any abilities with it, but it'll give you the full fire kit that you need. As you see, no one on the side of Limestone has that. They might be going for a bit of a lighter buy because they still have a good amount of credit. So they're going to win the bonus round, but still not win the war here, as the Tigers can go for that full buy this time around after saving.
And as much as you want to get a round on the board, like you said, it comes at a cost. So not able to full buy here are the Saints, but nonetheless, you'll take the round win. If you can secure yourself their first round win, especially against a team like Clemson, you start to get some of that confidence up and you can build from there. So let's see how they do here. And again, looking to establish mid control are the Saints. They have 3 players looking over towards mid, and they find one. We've seen a couple of rounds here where Poco, the Jet on Clemson, is going to peek through the catwalk, but no dice. Way, do they know there's a player in wine straight ahead of them? Caster vision gives us that advantage, but Way has no clue. This is going to be a patience battle as the Killjoy lockdown goes off. If you are stuck on this site when that lockdown goes off, there is nothing you can do. You are completely stunned. as we're going to see one player get sucked into the Astra ability there. Gonna find the frag, does poke on to Stone Fergie. Omen finds one onto Big J in a 5v2, a situation that was looking
Could be the
so
ace.
good. Can it be the ace? It is not, but it is a flawless for the Clemson Tigers, as no one on that team falls. They maintain the weapons, they maintain the advantage, and Omen, DD up top there, 10-1. You can't really ask for a better start than that on the side of Clemson.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that the best thing that was gotten out of that for the Saints before was the fact that Sigma Man had their lockdown ultimate. It's such a powerful ultimate in this game. You can either clear a site out completely because you're scared of being trapped in it, or if you are trapped in it, it makes them completely vulnerable. They can't move, they can't shoot, they are a sitting duck. There, they use it though in a situation where they couldn't really go blow for blow. They didn't have firepower, so it's an ultimate they're probably going to want back in their bank. The only one that they had online, that Hunter's Fury, is going to be gone as their Sova takes the bullet early on here, as Clemson once again going to have a person advantage.
Yeah, and Sigma Man trying to stay a little sneaky beaver there, play off of the Killjoy turret to set up a crossfire, not able to do it. His way takes down the Reyna counterpart in Jake. So 3v4 situation favoring the Tigers. This is still very doable if you're the Limestone Saints, but it is a whole lot harder when Poco's hitting shots like that first one onto Big J down middle. It can be a long night, but we also haven't seen the operator come out just yet from either side. And if the Saints are going to be the team to pull that one out, they're going to have to either A, win quite a couple of rounds back-to-back to string together those credits, or B, they are going to have to save up. It looks like they went for the force this round, so they will have some adequate weaponry, if you will, but looking to force the issue here onto this middle of the map. They made their way into the enemy team spawn. We're going to see some Astra smokes go out, and then this should be the hit coming in relatively quickly. The Cypher's there, back sight. Stone Fergie watching the rotate, see if anyone gets down, but no. Blake and Bake's going to fall and market. That's the spike. That's the signal from the Tigers to rotate to market, because the spike is there.
Yeah, and they don't have enough time to plan at this point. They're going to have to run to the point if they want any chance. Only 5 seconds. They might be able to find a few kills. They do, but now there is officially not enough time to plant the spike. They just took a bit too long there, even though they ended up having a 2v1 at the end of that round. They just don't rotate quick enough. They play at market, and I think there, if you're playing that like in the middle, you just have to jiggle peek. You have to kind of run out and blindly turn all the way to the right. You know there's someone shooting at your Reyna. You know there's someone who's trying to take out Way. So there you just kind of have to clear them out and then go for it and just run on the point there. I mean, they live. They get to get a few guns online, but as you see, they're going to have some members that can't. Blake and Bake's going to have to settle for a Bulldog, which is an assault rifle, but doesn't have as good of a fire rate, doesn't go as fast, and if you use the scope, it goes to semi-auto, so not as good as a Vandal. The one thing that right now is going right for the Saints, for Limestone, is that their ultimate bank is looking very nice, and I still think that even with all the nerfs that Sage has gotten, her resurrection, bringing someone back into a round after they've already died, is the best ability in the game.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. Between that and the Jet Tailwind, the ability to just dash out if you get shot, gives you a get-out-of-jail-free card, if you will. You make a mistake, you can completely nullify that, and as you can see here, Poco, they've got the operator. That's the sniper rifle. One-shot kill no matter where it hits you, unless it's through a wall. So this could be dangerous. Poco locking down the middle of the map. This is the area that we told folks to watch out for. Gonna get spotted by the recon dart and forced off of the angle. So this should allow Limestone to cross sight. If they go for this wall bang jag, I will scream through my microphone.
I hope you do. I hope they get it. I mean, the operator, it's the best gun in the game, but you got to hit your shot. It's almost always a one-shot, one kill, as long as it doesn't hit someone in the legs, and its ability to be able to land shots through walls, the wall bang, as we like to call it, it is very massive. You can get wall bang collaterals even, and oh my goodness, ways to be taken down. The Empress is gone.
The Empress is gone, and so is Diabetic Daddy on that Omen, so not going to have too many smokes for this retake are the Tigers. Spike's going to get initiated, but the Hunter's Fury is popped. That's going to spot 2 players. It's going to take out Big J, who's trying to get that spike down, and there's only 12 seconds left. They have to get this spike down immediately, do the Saints, or else we're going to see a similar situation to what we saw last. But Paco with a huge shot right there. Sig the Man finds one. Polo trades Sig immediately, and while the Saints are finding the opening frags that they need to get onto the site, they're taking just a bit too long when it comes to executing that spike plant. So we're going to have to keep an eye out for that and see if they want to push the tempo just a little bit more.
The good news for them is that they've actually kind of weathered the economy of Clemson. As you see, Lord and Jake, they cannot go for a full buy. They only have pistols for the meantime. They might have to get bought before they do so. You can buy your teammates other weapons in this. You can request, and then if they've got good enough economy, they can buy for you. So there, just as we say it, it doesn't even matter. So I mean, it forces the richest people on the side of Clemson to buy, but everyone is going to have what they want anyway. And I think the biggest thing for Limestone right now, as I said, like they have a really nice ult bank, but you use the Empress, you immediately get dropped. That's a big no-no. You still have 3 ultimates. I would love to see them just kind of use them a bit quicker. Like you said, I think using Hunter's Fury as an entry ultimate, it's not maybe the greatest idea, but you can try to go for it. But more importantly, I would love to see the Cosmic Divide come out here so they can try to cut off a point, completely cut off that sight line of hearing, as we talked about earlier. You can't hear anything once that wall is up. So that's what I'd really love to see.
And Polo decides to get aggressive onto this B site. It looks like the Tigers are going to stay true, though,
right
not
now
pull any rotations.
Speedy might have accidentally muted themselves once again. There we go. You're back. Let's get into this.
You know, we got some big fingers over here. They may slip every now and then, so it happens to the best of us. But as I was trying to say, it looks like, again, slowing the pace down is Limestone. They're only going to have 30 seconds left to execute onto the site, and you still have to find the frags as well as get the spike down. So this is going to be a difficult one for them to attack, as that's going to be the Cosmic Divide that goes out. Cutting them
into the lockdown as well, so many ultimates being committed here. But again, the kills are still coming through for Clemson.
They certainly are. Diabetic Daddy takes down 2. Trades back on the 1. There's still a player on the site. This has yet to be completely cleared out. Stone Fergie gonna get that resurrect off, and oh man, now we're seeing the power of the Cosmic Divide. Shots do not go through. Abilities, depending on which ones, only certain ones go through. Lord of Kong gonna find a tag onto Way. Big J and Sig though trade it immediately back. Sig, we've seen this come from them a number of times where they're able to pop the mollies from Killjoy. Nanobot's gonna go out, immediately shot down. 1v1, Sentinel v Sentinel. Sig can play the time here. No, not able to do that as Cypher finds the final frag. That's going to be the spike defusal. And that's a 6-1 that guarantees Clemson to at least take a tie into their attacking half.
Yeah, so for those of you who may not know Valorant, after 12 rounds total, we'll actually be swapping sides. Then defender will go to attack. And I think that's really important, because if you can build up a big lead like this on defense, because this is usually a defended-sided map, I feel like that's going to be huge for Clemson going into the swap. If they have, another 4 rounds, have double digits, they only need 3 more rounds to actually win the entirety of the series.
They certainly do. So Clemson looking strong here. And again, Jag, we talked about this a bit earlier. Clemson is a powerful team. This isn't the roster that they traditionally run, but I mean, when you're practicing against players that are better than you consistently, that's the only way to really learn this game. So Saints taking this so far is hopefully a learning experience, because the strats are there, right? The basics of the game, they look strong until Poco does something like that and breaks the entire setup. But the basics are there. It's about more now just being able to find the frags as Poco with a huge flick onto Way. What a shot that was. Jake gonna find one. It's a 2v5 situation. Will we see another flawless? No, because Sig takes down Cypher. Jake gets the frag, gets out thanks to that Empress. Overhealed, still got plenty of space to work with. This is a bit of a battle for Big J, and that's not a shot I want to be on the opposite side of.
No, that was just insane plays from the Jet on the side of Clemson. Gets a perfect angle. So one thing I didn't get to mention earlier is usually if you're going to be running the operator, it's going to be on defense, because you get to set up your angles a lot better than on the attack, because of where kind of those walls are before the round starts. So as you see here in mid, you can just set up, you can just completely look at where you're going to see the attackers peek out from. It works out really well. There they were setting up from trees on A. They just had the perfect little, they just threaded the needle, got a kill. And then even with the Lear, the ability from the Reyna that completely mitigates your sight line, they're able to just shoot right before they lose it, right before they lose sight. They get the one tap, and that's just a great way to start that round. And the Empress that came out from Clemson as well got a lot of value.
And that's a huge frag from Way down A main, takes down Omen. There's no smokes now for the side of the Tigers, and that's also their top fragger down. So this is going to be the go button. It's not going to be as slow-paced as the last couple of rounds. 3 players committing onto site here. Walls Spike's going to go down. They do not close the wall, which is an interesting decision away. Just gets absolutely punished by Poco. That's why you close the wall, make them come to you. And now with that Hunter's Fury, I would be shocked if we see the Saints play on the Spike. But as I say that, Big J's going to go down. Sig gets the trade. Yeah, that's a bit of a crucial mistake there from the Saints. You want to leave that leave that Soba up with the Hunter's Fury. That could be the world of a difference.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And right now, Lord is stuck in the grav well. It is actually turning around somehow for the Saints. It's only Jake who's on point, but they can't get the defuse off. I agree with you. That was almost a huge misplay. I mean, if you've got the Hunter's Fury, basically what it does is that it is a lightning strike that will go in a straight line. It can go, I think, pretty far across the map. There, as long as you know where the spike is planted, you can throw it out there. You hear the noise about the spike being diffused. That's your time to shine. You pop that bad boy, you throw it on the spike, and even if you don't get the kill, you're going to kill a lot of time because you're going to be forcing them to not go for the defuse. So there, they lose their Sova, and yet somehow, some way, in a big part to that Astra and their ability, the Gravel in particular just locked everyone up in one area. From there, Limestone get on the board once again, and this is an operator v operator showdown, and usually don't see the Sage on an operator because she has no movement abilities like a Jet does. Jet can dash out, she can jump up with her updraft. Sage, I mean, she slows down speed, she doesn't gain anything like that, but it is going to be Stone Fergie who's going to try to get some value here on mid.
Yeah, and I respect the decision from Stone Fergie. I mean, the only time we've seen a Sage in professional play run the operator, it was the legendary Skadoodle for T1. So, hey, maybe trying to take a play out of the T1 book, hoping they can find a frag as Diabetic Daddy gets revenge on way down A main. We saw that fight go the opposite direction last round, and this time it is flipped. Jake still trying to keep up that pressure mid, trying to maintain control as Poco they win the op battle. The battle of the Zoom Bangers goes in the way of the Tigers as Stone Fergie is down in a 3v5 situation. This is not looking good for Limestone. They need to group up. They need to play together now if they want to have any chance of winning this round. But Jag, to be completely honest with you, I would not be shocked if they call a save here and just save the weaponry that they have.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly because, I mean, you got to look at where you are before halftime. There's only going to be 2 more rounds after this. So you keep your weapons, you keep your ultimates. It can work out really well in your favor because then you can try to bring it back a little bit closer. A 4-8 scoreline and going into halftime isn't terrible, but you let that get to like 10-2. It can be really difficult, but they are going to be running into this.
Yeah, and again, bit of a questionable decision. There was only about 8 seconds left when they decided to hold down that W key and launch themselves forward. I mean, with that, you have to get the frag within at least 2-3 seconds, and then you only have 4 seconds left to plant the spike. So, again, questionable decision-making from the Saints, but to be expected when you have such a young team. We've talked about this before, and we'll talk about it again. Only 2 semesters old, a lot of these players that didn't necessarily come from games like CSGO, like Overwatch, where you're relying on the tactical shooter mechanics, if you will. So they had a lot to learn, and so far the Saints, it's nothing to be upset about, but there's definitely some things you can take from this game so far.
Yeah, when I was casting Miami last week, they were able to win 2 rounds on each of the maps they played, so I'd love to see them get a few more here. They are going to commit now. The lockdown, when they don't have much of a buy, this is a light buy. They all went for Sheriffs, except for, I guess, Sigma Man, who does have a Vandal, and they're going to be trying to run it before the lockdown even goes off. Now it has. No one's been detained, and this might actually be good because they're going to use Hunter's Fury to clear out where the defenders would be spawning from. They do lose their Sage along the way, but they have point control. The spike isn't down yet. This is a bit shocking that they haven't planted just yet.
Yeah, that's going to cost them a bit. That spike gets planted a bit earlier. Then, you have more players available to take those gunfights. The Grabwell going to find one, not able to find the final frag. Sig's going to go down. 5v1 situation. This isn't looking good. Blake and Bakes takes down the Cypher, but Poco with that operator finds another one as Clemson going to put number 9 on the board.
Yeah, and I think there, what you got to do is once you use the lockdown, like, if you're going to run in, I mean, you got to just go in as a whole team. They were taking a lot of damage trying to enter, but then they use Hunter's Fury. I love that plan, actually. I really, really like it. Completely cuts off the sightline for Clemson. But what you got to do is in between those shots, everyone's got to run to the point. You saw there a fewer hop more towards market, and you can't really take that dual one-on-one because you don't have superior firepower. The Sheriff is a great sidearm. It's the most expensive one, and it can get some one shots, one kills, but it's not nearly as effective as a Vandal, as an Operator. You miss one shot, and it's basically the fight is over. So there, just a few players out of position. Spike plant comes in a little bit too late, and ultimates that could have been used there still were not. But this is the last round, so if there's any time to use it, it's got to be now or never. And oh my god, the double shot collateral.
Oh, that's just not okay from Poco. Gotta apologize after that shot. 1 bullet, 2 kills. As Diabetic takes down 1. Stone Fergie gonna get the trade. 4v2 situation, and that's a huge loss right there. But Poco coming up big for the Tigers. That's the spike down. Finds one more. Poco trying to make it a 4K. Does not. Blake and Bake's gonna take down one more. So 1v3 situation. They do have Cosmic Divide. They can rotate out of sight. But 2 players passing in the night. If you take a look at the minimap, as Blake and Bake's going to get the better of Cypher. So 2v1. Oh, Blake and Bake's looking to clutch up here. He's got the enemy team just kind of wandering around the map. Top the Cosmic Divide, Blake. Show us something pretty here.
I think the best thing you could do here is actually use it on the site you're not going to. It's a complete bait. If you try to use it on B, that's what they're doing to do.
They're listening to you.
Yeah, they're listening to me. They're even though we are delayed live on stream, they have somehow stream sniped us. But yeah, this is perfect play because everyone's gonna be like, oh, they're going to B, obviously, because that's where it is. But now you got their attention fully on B. You can just go towards A, but you got to do it quickly. You cannot wait too long. It takes 4 seconds to plant the spike, so there should be plenty of time. They're gonna be able to run out with their knife out. In Valorant, people can hear you across the map. You can try to slow step it, and then you can't be heard, but this time they're just going to run it. They are going to plant it, and now I think Clemson realizes they have been baited just a little bit because that spike is nowhere near where they are. So this could actually be a huge clutch moment right now from Blake and Bakes. They have an Operator as well. This is the most clutch gun in the game, but if Clemson is able to get on the point and they're able to make it more of a close encounter, that's where the Operator gets a lot less effective. It's much harder to hit that shot when an enemy's in your face.
Yeah, and I love where the spike has been planted. It's out in the open. Blake just needs to take one peek, and they'll be able to find one. Also put a grab well there on spike, but you have to hit the shot. So far, Blake doesn't do that. The Operator, not a gun known for having a decent fire rate. 1 bullet, you have to recock that gun, and unfortunately, Blake not able to find that frag. So 10-2 half. We're going to switch sides here as we'll see what Clemson is able to do on their attacking side. They are 3 rounds away from taking map number 1. Again, this was the choice of Limestone. Here's a look at that shot. Poco just blasts way in Big J into next semester. Huge shot from Poco. And once that was done, I mean, that's kind of the round. It's a very, very steep hill to climb once you go down 2 players with 1 shot.
Yeah, I mean, it kills all momentum. You're trying to run onto A, and then, you lose 2. It was very close, though. Limestone, they almost brought it back. Unfortunately, could not do it, and a big part of that is because you can't walk with the Operator. In Valorant, if you walk with your gun, your spread goes everywhere, so you won't be nearly as accurate as you expect to be, and with an Operator, it's just going to go flying into the sun. Clemson, they're actually going to be trading out in a bad way. They're going to be down 1 as they try to take over mid.
Yeah, and I think the Frenzy from Stone Fergie had something to say about that round. Frenzy, the automatic pistol in this game, able to go burr, burr, burr all day long. Lord of the Dawn here, looking to work. Made it. Right clicks, Blake and Bakes. Polo right click, Sig the man. That's going to open up this A site. No one able to stop this spike plant. 3v2 situation. The Tigers, though, have 2 players with very low HP. So 1 bullet can take out 2 of the 3 players on Clemson. And if you get a right click onto Cypher, you probably take them out as well. So the Saints, 2 players at full HP, looking to make this work. It's certainly doable here. Jag, can they pull this one off? Cypher Recon Dart, not going to find anything just yet. Way's taking the fights, and if there's anyone I want in a clutch situation here, it's going to be Way, that senior leader of the IGL for the Saints. But Polo able to take down the Sova counterpart. Way, can they get the frag here? Going to get the overheal. Tags down Cypher a bit more. There's 1 player in hell, not able to get it done as Jake wins the Reyna duel against Way and put the Tigers that much closer to victory.
Only 2 rounds away now. So what we might see from Limestone is they might try to go for a 4 spot, because once you get to 12 rounds, even if the Saints catch up and are able to win 10 rounds in a row, it's not going to be ended in regulation. It goes to overtime rules, but it looks like Limestone does not want to go for that. They're just going to wait for the bonus run and hope that they can, find some pulse on that instead. I think the biggest problem is that if you're playing Reyna, I mean, Way there has to go for the the Soul Orb. They have to go for the heal. Marina is one of those characters that can heal themselves after they get a kill or they do damage to someone who dies. That was the only way of staying alive because they were so weak. But as they drop, they give up their position, and then from there, Clemson just able to find out where they are. Now, Clemson moving very quickly. They are moving with some pep in their step now that they have these SMGs.
Yeah, Clemson Tigers, I mean, they are the kings of the jungle. They're trying to show themselves why. Or is it the lion that's the king of the jungle? Dag, I'm not going to... I honestly couldn't tell you. Wasn't a zoologist major in college.
Can't say I was either.
As we see here, though, the Tigers are going to eat, finding almost all 5 players from the Saints. It's just going to be Sig the Man. Sig the Man with a very uphill battle. Can they get this done? A classic, a dream, and a cute little Killjoy charm on top of that gun here. Gonna find one, gets one, not able to get the second as we move on to map point for Clemson.
Yeah, and I believe I said earlier that it would be series point, but this is map point. This is a first to 2, so there is going to be one more map no matter what after this. And, you know, I gotta wonder if this will pay off. I think going for the bonus round is the safer bet because you're almost guaranteed to win this one every time. But knowing that Clemson were on the penultimate round last time, now that they've won that, this is possibly the final round. We'll see if that gambit pays off. Clemson, they're going to be going in with a judge, and this is very interesting. They're putting it on their own, and this is usually something you would see on a jet because, again, they have that dash. They can immediately run in and just one-tap people with a shotgun like that, but we'll see if they can get... I mean, the wall is already here, so they can maybe just wait for the wall to go down. They could teleport across the wall, but then they'd be very vulnerable. So there's a lot of things right now that DD can do, and they're just going to break the wall of that judge.
Yeah, again, the go button's been pressed. Site's clear. That's going to be the call. All 5 players so far from Clemson able to get onto site okay. As DD takes down Stone Fergie with that judge, Big J gets the trade onto Jake, and DD trades the judge immediately. That's a GameStop trade. Get rid of the judge, you get something better back. I mean, that's how my trades went. I usually had to pay a little bit extra for something, and I think DD paid for the extra bit with their HP because a stray bullet to the toe will get that frag. Polo, don't do it. Don't do it, Polo. Not able to find the wall bank just yet. Spectre not known for having a great wall penetration, but 2v1 situation. That's going to be Big J left. Map life on the line. Can Big J pull it off? Spots one leg, spots both heads. This is certainly winnable for Big J. The 2v1 clutch to keep the Saints alive. Hope, dream, prayer. Big J answers everything. As able to get that frag. And they have the spike plant though.
It's been too long.
Not able to do it. The Tigers get the spike to detonate, and they take map number 1 of Ascent.
They do it in dominant fashion, 13-2. Once again, a scoreline that I have become very familiar with over the last 2 weeks with Limestone. I think one of the things that Clemson kind of misplayed there was the fact that, sure, you get DD with the Vandal. They're able to get the kill of the judge, as you said. Not the best trade, a GameStop trade, if you will. So why not give it to the person who has more health? You can take their Spectre, and then your Soba, who has a lot more health going into that last fight, can give you a much better shot because they can absorb a lot more damage and then they can put out a lot more damage. But instead, it doesn't even matter because we talked about this, but timing for Limestone just has not been on point tonight. We've seen a few times on their attack where they took too long to go for the spike plant. Didn't have enough time to do it, ran in, ended up dying here. Very similar situation. They take too long to approach the point, take too long to go for that spike defuse. It was so close. Only needed another second or two to get it done, but they could not stay alive in this first map of the day. Clemson, they'll be going into the second map on match point.
They certainly will, and we'll have a couple highlights for you here. I still can't get over that shot from Poco. That was a huge frag. Slow it down. Bang! Just lines it up so beautifully to get the round started. But, Jag, like you said, you know, the timing, I think, is the name of the game for Limestone Esports. They weren't able to get it done on attack. They waited too long. They weren't able to push sites, and they made a couple of questionable decisions. Hopefully they can take some lessons from this last game. We know Ascent was the map that they've been grinding, they've been practicing on, and I give them credit. They had some strats that looked good. They looked dialed. I think it was a couple of times the aim may have let them down, but when you're playing a powerhouse like Clemson, it's all a learning experience, to be quite honest with you. But speaking of a learning experience, Jag, I believe we're going to go to a quick 5-minute break. I'm going to try and go learn something new. Any suggestions? Maybe some zoology so I can make a couple more tiger references. Maybe something about Saints. I'm not too sure, but stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Valorant action after this.
Now you're just a lesson learned, a slowly fading memory.
we had was sacred. It's our lives, our lives. I was broken and isolated, but inside held the fire waiting. Not a word that you say can save us, so don't try. 'Cause this time you crossed the line. This time you crossed the line.
The Nanoswarm is out. It's going to buy a little bit of damage.
Oh, and really no one is taking any damage on the side of Clemson.
Yeah,
See if Lore can get some kills on this flank.
Yeah, the alarm bot goes out. Cypher here trying to get a frag. They immediately shoot that, get the frag onto Wang. 3v3, 3v2. Polo Stone Fergie finds one. There's a Killjoy Molly there. That's going to get the board on there. One does 60 man 035. Looking for the low player. I don't think. Oh, and the clutch from 60.
Prepare to die. Welcome to a whole new world. Your planet is now under Mid-Ranger's control. Humanity will be exterminated. If you hear this message, do not try to leave.